This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the Bigger Picture webinar for Sunday, the 22nd of September. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, let's have a look at ES. Now, ES, we broke up a little higher. This does mean that we've made the retest of the high on ES, which is good. It does mean that the double top setup on SPX has deteriorated a little. No current negative divergence. NQ, no current negative divergence either. Hasn't broken the rising support. ES has very slightly. RTY has broken the rising support and has retested this high. Has not retested the main high. Haven't really been expecting it to do that. 60-minute sell signal after a couple of higher highs has finally made the possible near miss target. On YM, no current signal, breaking rising support slightly from this last low. DAX, we had a sell signal and that has now made target. We had a nice wedge from the high here and we've broken down, possibly forming a head and shoulders, but hard to say. ESTX hasn't broken rising support yet, no signal, but we've seen a bit of retracement as we have seen with all of the others. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay, SPX, let's start on the 15-minute, and we've got this nice little wedge coming up from this low, hasn't broken down yet. We've got a possible overall rising wedge, but we haven't reached the ideal trend line yet. Which would be just a little higher here in about the 57.50 area, I think. Not a huge amount higher than we went on Friday, but somewhat higher. Looking at the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fix. You can see that trend line I've marked in here too. But we have got other stuff that I've been looking at with interest. For instance, SPX, the SPX ADP chart. I show this every so often, and this is a measure of how overbought a market is and how much retracement is needed. And you quite often see a test of the 30 level, which leads to a retracement. And by the time you are touching the minus 26 level, which also marked on the chart, then you're likely near to a low. So, occasional exceptions. Obviously, this was, so sometimes it goes well below. It never gets that much further above though, but sometimes it can go higher while this is going lower. It's but at the moment, obviously, when we reached this level last time, time before last, almost immediately saw a retracement again. Pretty soon after here, we've just touched it again. And obviously, I'm watching this as a big inflection point, and I'm wondering about that. Looking at the weekly chart, we've actually got an RSI 14 sell signal fix, but you can see I've got this trend line marked in as possible wedge resistance trend line, and we've touched it again, but it has been respected. Again, I'm wondering about that resistance and whether that's going to hold. Nothing to say really on the Bollinger Bands apart from we've touched the weekly upper band. On the daily chart, the new pivot is at 56.80. No current negative divergence, but pull back a bit and retest, and we could easily set some up here, but we would need to see that pullback first. It would need to be more than we were seeing at the end of last week. On the Bollinger Bands, we're testing the upper band, nowhere near the 3SD upper band, which would require a break considerably further. So we will see. Nothing really I've nothing marked up on the 45 DMA chart. We're not really high enough to really start ringing any bells. If we do get high enough to start ringing any bells, then to be honest, by that stage, I'd probably be assuming we have broken up. All right, NDX. NDX on the 15-minute chart, possible rising wedge forming here, not a bad one. No negative divergence on the hourly chart. No really obvious pattern from this low. So, I mean, we haven't really gone much higher. NDX has been lagging for quite a while now. I'm not really expecting to see a retest to the high unless we break up on SPX. Looking at Dow, on the 5-minute chart here, this is a possible wedge I've got here. Very nice resistance trend line. So I'm watching the test of support as and when we reach it. At the moment, this looks like a consolidation triangle. We will see whether that continues to form that way. We'll see. 15-minute RSI 14 sell signal fixed, hasn't touched the rising support obviously, and on the bigger picture chart we came back and we tested the obvious resistance trend line. Now this is obviously something of interest. We've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and we will see how it goes. But this is an obvious resistance trend line, and I'm watching it, and at the moment that is being respected. So I'm watching really for signs that we might be forming a high here, but could take us down after this inflection point. And we don't have enough to say that that's likely to happen at the moment. But at the moment, we are respecting some key resistance trend lines. We've touched the warning level on the SPX ADP, and on the daily chart, I'm marking. Hang on, wait a second. On this one. Obviously, I note the high volume spikes. What did we get on Friday? We got a high volume spike, and it was a big one. It's actually the largest one on this chart. Do we always get a high when this happens? No, but it happens regularly. And we will see how it goes. But that is obviously a pointer that we could be seeing a high here. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at the IWM chart. Looking at the 5 minutes, nice looking wedge, which is starting to break down. This looks like a bull flag forming, and probably is. As I said, if we were going to get a nice stopping setup here, it would probably involve some more retracement and another retest of the high. We've still got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the 15-minute, which basically fixed a while ago, and we haven't seen enough of a retracement for that to make target. But we haven't seen enough upside for it to fail either. On the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. I'm still leaning towards seeing some more retracement, and if we're going to get a decent topping setup on SPX and Dow particularly, then we will need to see more of a pullback and then a retest. We'll see whether we get it. Looking at DAX, obviously we've got a lovely nested double top here. It's great. No current negative divergence, but again, retest the high here, but without more retracement, could give us a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing. Looking at Nikkei, Nikkei has broken up over the daily middle band again and is testing the 50 DMA. Moderately bullish, but we will see how it goes from here. In terms of where we are, we're just over the 200 DMA here, which is this one here. We're testing the 50 DMA. This is the ribbon of moving averages. It's working its way through it at the moment. This could be preceding a breakup, and if we see a big breakup on SPX and Dow, then we'll see one here most likely as well. But we're still very much in potential fail area here, so we shall see. All right, let's have a look at the dollar.
This conference will now be recorded.
Alrighty, on the dollar, we've got a possible double bottom here. I'm leaning towards it going lower, but I've got more to say about this on the daily chart. Let's have a look at that. On the daily chart, no current divergence. Nice looking double bottom, but if we switch over to the index chart here, we have made a lower low under this 132. We've got a nice overall potential double bottom here, which might deliver, but might not. I'm really leaning more towards the downside, but I am watching some of the indicators here. We've got an RSI 14 buy signal fix. We've now got a weak RSI 5 buy signal fix. I'm wondering about a rally here. This isn't a bad looking double bottom. We could see a rally here. It could just continue on to the downside. Bigger picture. This is, I posted this chart 2 years ago, talking about the next big target being a test of this this trend line here, and we're on the way. It's been a long haul, but I mean that's the case on currencies. Dollar, when you're looking at something like this, I mean to get from this top trend line to the bottom trend line took 3 years. On this one actually has taken slightly less than 2 so far. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was another year or two before we actually reach this trend line. That gives plenty of scope for potential rallies. We're hitting some support here. We've got the 200-week moving average we're testing, so we will see. And we've got the I think the 15-month moving average. Yeah, we got very, very close to that. And tested it. So we do have some support here. We do have some positive divergence. I'm particularly looking at the daily RSI 5 buy signal, although that has actually made much of the way to target already on this modest bounce off the low. All right, let's have a look at ZB. So bear with me a second. Right, CB, we got a nice looking double top here that has broken down, and we haven't made the target on it yet. We didn't have a signal here, and we still don't, but I'm still leaning towards more downside, possible test of the monthly pivot. Looking at the TNX on the bigger picture, we've got on the hourly chart, we had we had a buy signal, and that's now made target. We haven't broken over this declining resistance, and I'm watching that. We haven't given it a perfect touch either. We did have an RSI 5 buy signal fixed on the daily, and that's now reached a possible near miss target. We've still got a possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing, but that hasn't fixed. We've got a nice looking bottoming setup here. We're kind of swimming against the tide here because obviously interest rates have come down 0.5%. They're likely to come down another 0.5% in a month or two. So I don't know whether this can really get above the daily middle band and deliver a rally. It's not a bad setup to see that, but we will see. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see it fell lower. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the CL chart. Okay, CL. We've broken up from this inverse head and shoulders, not making a lot of progress to the upside. We haven't broken down yet either. Are we going to make this target? Well, I was thinking seriously about a test of the monthly pivot, but on the daily chart, where we've reached the possible near miss target on both the index and the future, we could fail at any time here, and I think this is a counter trend bounce. On NG, we saw a very nice move up here, and I've got much more to say about this on the daily chart, so let's move over to that now. Okay, CL. The buy signal has made target on the RSI 5, on the daily, on CL. This is obviously rolled into November now. On WTIC, we've now reached the possible near miss target. So at this stage, I'm wondering whether we might see a fail here. We're back to the daily middle band and slightly above. That closed on Friday at 70.98, and the WTIC close was 0.02 higher. Not really a conviction break so far, but I mean, we could break higher, but at this stage, on the signal basis, I'm thinking the rally could end really at any time. Is there much reason for a technical level for it to go higher? Not really. We could backtest broken triangle resistance, but the main target is the target from the breakdown from the triangle, and that's at a retest of the 2023 low at 63.57. All right, looking at nat gas, very nice move up here. And I've been talking about this because I've been talking about this triangle, and I was saying that if we were to see this triangle continue to form, then the next target obvious target would be trendline resistance in about the 2.9 area. Now we saw a big move up on Friday, and actually it was so big that it left the 2SD upper band quite some distance behind. I haven't got the 3SD bands marked on this chart. I might have a look at that Monday, but I mean, short term, this is looking a little toppy. Bigger picture on the triangle, I'm looking for this target here. I think that's at about 2.92. And if we touch that trend line and come down again, then that would be the continuation of what would be a bearish triangle of the type that we saw form on CL and break down. So watching that with great interest, wondering whether we're going to see 2.92 next week and whether we're going to see a reversal there when we get there. So we will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at GC. GC, we have gone higher, possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, and I do have some resistance at this level on the daily chart. On SI, we've got a bit higher here. This double top obviously failed. We've got a potential larger double top here, and I'm wondering whether we might see a reversal. And we might well see a reversal if of course, we see a substantial rally on the dollar, and we are getting some indicator suggestions, strong suggestions that we might be about to see that. We will see. All right, let's have a look at Actually, let's have a look at, copper first. So copper, nice looking channel here. Next obvious target would be channel support, currently in about the 4.285 area. Week 6-minute sell signal is fixed and has actually made much of the target already. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts on those. All right, GC. Tiny bit of negative divergence. I haven't marked it in, but the main things I'm watching here are this trend line here. Now, I'd had this marked in as one of my possible 3 resistance trend lines I marked in on the weekly chart. We went through this one, and we have come up to this one. We're holding it so far. We've got some negative divergence on the daily chart. We have more. We've already got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed and hasn't failed on the weekly chart. I am wondering if this might hold. We will see. I think it's most likely to hold if we do see a big rally on the dollar. On SI, we got a possible daily RSI 5 sell signal brewing, although really this is a flag and has broken up, and that's got a minimum target at a retest of 33.5, so we've got a clear target there already, and that hasn't been made yet. On the silver index chart, possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing. Could just go straight through it, but I am wondering about it. On the weekly chart, no current divergence, and we have got a pattern here. Potentially, we could go and test this support trend line at 22, but this is only a tentative pattern, and I'm not reading too much into it at the moment. I am wondering about this trend line here, which is a beauty. But that would have resistance up in about 37.4 area at the moment. All right, looking at palladium, no current divergence, very nice move up. Looks like a consolidation here at the moment. Retest is high, we could start getting sell signals brewing. Platinum, again, retest the high, we could get a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing. Looks like it wants to see a retest of the high before we go any further. We'll see whether it does. HG, still on a weak RSI 14 buy signal, which is getting close to the possible near miss target area. Nice looking potential flag here still. So, and this would be a flag channel, and it's not bad. Looking at the copper daily chart on the index, this may well be a flag forming. We'll see. All right, nothing in terms of divergence on the weekly chart, or nothing worth noting really. So, but watching this, and I think we're at a decision point here, and we'll see how it goes. That may too, again, be influenced by the dollar. Okay, looking at the GDX daily chart, we've got a possible daily RSI 5 sell signal brewing. Watching that with interest. Nothing on, and we've got the same on GDXJ. Nothing on the hourly charts really. But I'm wondering whether we are seeing a number of divergences form, suggesting that we might be about to see a pullback on metals. So I'm watching out for that. All right, let's have a look at the other commodities.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, let's have a look at KC. This looks like a big bull flag forming. It could go lower. If it gets down to the monthly pivot, then I'll be ruling out the flag option in all probability. But at the moment, this still looks like flag setting up a retest this high here in the 272 area. Looking at sugar. Sugar, nice move higher here. Possible 6-minute sell signal brewing. Could just blow through that. I do have targets higher. CC broke down slightly below the rising support here. No current divergence. Still leaning towards seeing a retest this high here in about the 82.40 area. Looking at cotton, 60-minute sell signal fix. Could see a bit of retracement here. Still hasn't made the minimum double bottom target, which I've got at about 75.1. Looking at ZW, ZW is broken up for an inverted head and shoulders here, and that hasn't failed yet, but it's definitely thinking about it. On corn, possible double top here. Didn't quite make the retest of this high here to make the double top, but maybe. We will see. Soy, not showing any sign of making this downside target so far. Wondering if it needs a retest of the high first, and this has failed. That could set up a larger double top, of course. Looking at lumber, trading sideways after this head and shoulders breakdown. If we see a break above if we get back to 529, this head and shoulders will have failed. Till then, it's still making a decision between one or the other. I think we will either be heading down to the retest of this low here at 473, or the retest of this high here at 547. Live cattle has broken up from a double bottom. Double bottom looked better on October, but it was a very solid double bottom then. And double bottom target would be in about the 186 area. On lean hogs, nice looking potential level top here. Weak 60-minute sell signal fix. Still keeping an open mind on this one. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture on that. KC. KC testing the daily middle band. As long as that holds, chances are this is a bull flag. On sugar. Sugar, we've got a big double bottom which is broken up. That's got a minimum target here in about the 2370 area. And I'm really expecting to see that target made. Nothing compelling saying this is about to turn around, but short term, this is looking kind of overbought. I wouldn't be surprised to see a retracement soon. CC, no current divergence, leaning towards seeing a retest of this high here at 82.42. Obviously, it's been considerably higher than that. Could this be a triangle that's broken up with a target at 1070? It wasn't a great triangle, but maybe. We will see. Wheat. RSI 14 buy signal has reached the possible near miss target, and this IHS could be failing. We will see how it goes. On corn, RSI 5 buy signal is fixed. We did have an RSI 5 sell signal fixed. That's actually already made target. Broke down below the daily middle band, so if it can consolidate below, we could be looking at a low retest at 385. Otherwise, mixed signals here, so we'll see. Soy, weak RSI 14 buy signal is fixed. We didn't have a sell signal here. This looks more like a flag bullish consolidation happening than anything else, and we're holding the daily middle band as support at the moment. On cotton, we've got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing, leaning towards it going higher, really. But we will see how it goes. But I'd like to see this head back up into about the 75.84 area and the possible IHS neckline here. But I am watching this negative divergence, and if it fixes into a signal, chances are it will play out. We will see. All right, and that's it for today. So should be an interesting week next week, and we will see how it goes. All right, catch you later, guys.